Hello everyone. We should be live. So, just wait a few more minutes to get started until I'll get a couple more viewers, but we should be live and it's good to be back. First of all, I would like just to say that I apologize for not hosting a live stream yesterday. This was supposed to be scheduled on Sunday. The problem was that I was not home and the internet connection was a little bit lacking, so I couldn't do a good live stream. I'd rather not do anything than do something poorly. So today we'll be making up for it. It's going to be a shorter session than usual. We don't have a lot of work to go through today, but it's just a chill session of designing and sketching out leather carving designs. Okay, we'll do a brief sketch on a smaller template and then sort of zoom in rather, and blow out the sketch. Okay, I've got two things in mind to do today. One of them is a Viking themed serpent, which I haven't done in quite some time, so that's easy enough to do. But before that, I would like to do some sort of vine, floral and leaf-like design, which I've done in the past on a leather bracer for a friend of mine who commissioned me to do one. I think it was one of the very first live streams I made, so probably like live stream 1, I think. We are joined by the chief today. She's busy away killing bad guys on World of Warcraft, which is cool. Pretending I didn't say anything. But yeah, so today we'll be doing a little bit of a chill session. Let's say hi to people in chat. Hello, Melissa. How are you doing? Okay. Good morning to you too. It's 4 o'clock over here, so we've been past morning for quite some by quite a few hours. So yeah, so she said hello, Master Tisha.
Hello.
So is sound okay?
Yes.
I think it should be okay, right? Sound.
So
Yeah, sounds perfect. Okay, so I think we can just jump right into it. Today we'll be using my iPad for designing. It's usually what I use. It's not sponsored or anything, of course, but I have an app on it called Procreate, and it's a very simple, not very simple, but it's like a photo editing, like sketching art software that you can get on your iOS devices for a few dollars, and it's really not that expensive to get hold of. Let's move to the in process one. There's something wrong with this. Let me have a look. I need to just make sure. Let me see if the chat will work like this. If I edit on like this, I might have to. Might have to fix this quickly just to make sure that the chat is working well enough. Yeah, okay, so perfect. Chat is working okay now. Good. We're not stuck anywhere. You know what I'll do? I'll just quickly just swap things around, because I'm realizing that there is the watermark. On my face. So let's swap chat around. It should be fine. Like this. Okay. There. Should have swapped things around. Everything should be a little bit better now. So yeah, I'll just make sure to do this. Okay, so everything's fine now. We've got the webcam on top, chat at the bottom. Okay, so your comments will start appearing down there. We've got the iPad thingy over here. So okay, so let's start with what we're going to do today. I have a couple of commissions, and one of them is a quiver. A friend of mine, June, who was very kind enough to commission me once more, wanted to get a quiver which was in the same theme of her original bracer. If you recall, one of my very first live streams was making a leather bracer with a bit of a floral design carving. It had a cat stamp on it, so brilliant. We'll replicate that. However, as you can see right on screen right now, I have 3 different sort of templates of quivers. Recently I've been trying to change up the quiver styles, and these are just 3. The middle one, just to start showing you what I am talking about. The middle one over here, that is the most common one that I make. I've got a template for it. In my garage, of course, I got a template for it made out of paper, and I just copied the design. It's not perfect, so in the future I want to have a proper like hard template, but it's a matter of storage at the moment, so I can't have one of hard plastic right now. So I'm going to keep it as paper until I can move into a larger shop. The one on the side, which is on the right hand side, is a very similar design. It's just got a curve cut out of it, and it makes this really nice opening on top, and it is folded and so on. So that's a really nice design. Very similarly, the shield design comes to a point rather than to a curve. This last one, this one, the one on the right, I have very recently finished another commission, which is something that I shot on video. I was supposed to publish it last Saturday. However, I was having a little bit of issue with editing. I wasn't completely happy with all the shots that I have, so I delayed the publishing to a later date, so that I can get more time, to shoot a little bit more footage and make it a proper nice video. And I think this will be quite a good one. So yeah, I used this design over here. Now in this kind of commission that I have going now today, we'll be using the same design, which is this one over here. Now this is a template which I copied already on Procreate. Okay, so basically I can just get rid of the ones that I don't need, and basically this is what we'll be working on. I already have the drawing guide which I can get rid of, and basically, yeah, this is the design that we'll be working on. So I can zoom in a little bit better. I'm going to try and keep the orientation of the iPad like this, so it doesn't ruin the screen orientation, but it should be fine. Okay. So starting off, this is what the quiver will look like when it is folded and sewn shut, right? So of course on top you're going to have the stitching running along the edge. Obviously it's not to scale, but there's going to be the stitching. I usually put the stitching about 5 mil from the edge, which is usually enough. So the design needs to be carved only on one side, right? On this side only. Since the bottom, if we were to sort of split this in half, this side will be towards the back on the leg side for the archer. Furthermore, there's going to be a quiver which you can wear on your back as well. So it's going to be a modular quiver having 2 points of contact over here. One will have a belt to go around the waist and a belt to go around the thigh, and the same points can be converted. Will have like a D-ring on them or some sort of implement, and they can be worn on the back as well for a Robin Hood style quiver, which I admit is not my personal favorite kind of quiver, but people like it and it's popular as well. So yeah, so today we'll be looking at a design on this side. Now there are some things that I would like to keep in mind while designing this. So I can't have a full face art because there are certain places where I cannot carve. Obviously specifying the edges, so I have to steer clear of the edges because of the stitching over there. I can put carvings, but then when you put stitches over them, it just detracts from the detail. It just looks a little bit shoddy. Also, along the edge, I like to put a little bit of a band, like a band of where I don't actually carve. I might just put a line, like carve a line and leave it like a border, that I like leaving there, so that the carving looks a little bit more contained. Now in this case, the carving is going to be a very floral design, right? It's going to be a floral, like vines and leaves and that sort of thing. So I'm going to start by clearing off the sketches that I did. Take the turquoise brush. This is what I use usually. This color, I use it to show that this is a preliminary sketch, okay? So that I can identify between one layer and the next. And I'm going to just roughly sketch what I think I would like to see on it. If I recall, there are two features on the leather. Sort of the grain is it's not a defect really, it's just the way the grain was tanned. It's got, I believe it's got two lines going somewhere along here. Maybe not so much. I think they were something along here. So those, when I actually get to the carving, I will actually have to adapt around them, because these will dye in a different color. They will dye lighter and will leave a bit of an effect. Personally, I like having these kinds of things on leather because they would give the leather, the piece, character, and no two pieces will ever be the same. But yeah, so I think I would like first of all to have the cat, because the cat is going to be stamped, and the cat is going to be stamped on top. That we have agreed on already, because I spoke to my friend, and she wants the cat to be over there, head facing that way. So it will get, I have a 3D printed cat stamp, and I'll just put it in the arbor press and press it in place around the middle. Okay, so that's fine. And we're just going to have one on top. Now, I think I want to have, like, if this is the cat, okay, let's make a little bit of a better job at it. If this is the cat, and it really isn't big as a stamp, it's about 2 inches, something of the sort. I might want to have like either the vines on either side, or the vines coming up from somewhere around here and sort of flowing this way, as if the cat is resting on top of them, but obviously with a visible gap between the cat and the vines. And then they keep on sort of snaking their way towards the rest of the quiver. Now, I'm not sure whether it will be like a one-way thing, so it starts at the top and finishes at the bottom, or whether it's going to sort of weave back. We could also have 2 of them. It kind of makes sense, because on the bracer there were sort of like a vine on either side of the bracer. In the meantime, if you have comments in chat, or if you have any ideas that you would like to share, please go ahead. I'm keeping an eye on chat. It's much easier. I've got the second monitor on. So yeah, feel free to just pop by and give me your feedback or ideas. So these curves will be a little bit more defined, of course. Now, let's start, actually now, let's just see. And then we can start the second one over here. I see, like, this is a lot of entanglement over there, so I really don't like that. So maybe go through here and then through here. Okay, so I can move this piece slightly over here, and this, let's go here. Yeah, okay, let's have that part there. This can sort of come on this side then, and it will perhaps end here maybe. I'm not quite happy with the design. I think this loop is this loop over here is a little bit too much. In fact, I think I'm just going to remove it and just entwine them like this, and they can. Now it's got like a weird bump. So what if there's this, I think the problem with my floral design usually is that it's like they're uneven circles. So perhaps, what if I do this? Edit, circle, circle. Okay. Okay. Let's start over. That gives me another idea of how to actually go about this. It's going to be the same kind of weaving concept, so that's not going to change. It's just my approach towards designing it that's going to change now that I realized something. So I'm going to draw a bunch of circles. Right, at the shape, circle. That makes the circle there. Okay, so I would like to have a circle there. Let's do another one. It's a bit of a larger one. Oops. At the shape, circle, and this one's going to be somewhere around here. Now, this way I'm guaranteeing that I'm using a proper circle circumference. And even if I go to print it, eventually it's going to be actually more, I think it's going to be more pleasing to look at. So, somewhere around here. Slight curve over here, and we've got another circle to put. Okay. And okay, kind of like the two parallel lines crossing each other. Not so fond of this big circle down here, but can probably just go in and embellish it later. Oh, this one, we can do the same for this one. Okay. Okay. And over here we'll have something on top. We'll have something like a leaf, of course, or something. I'll add on the details later. Or we can have some sort of flower, etc., etc. So okay, so this is one of them, and kind of like this aesthetic. I think it would look really nice. Maybe not too happy over here. Maybe this should go over here. And then maybe I don't like the just to have like an actual circle there, so maybe in this case just take the rubber to the smallest size. We can just remove some of this. You can probably do it a little bit nicer as well later on. This weird bump I don't like. I feel like it needs to be flatter. Okay. All I'm doing right now is just adding lines and erasing them and sort of seeing what fits and what doesn't in the sort of in my expectations over here. Okay. So. Okay. Should I add another one or should I not? Let's add another layer so that if I need to remove it completely, I can. So I think I'm going to start somewhere here now. This time I'm going to start somewhere here. So I wonder if the cat will look nicer over here, like in a sort of circle of vines. Okay, tell you what, so this one is going to have either one or the other, but I'll still have to decide, so. Now these lines are going to be like, there will be a thickness to them. It's not just a single carve into the leather. It's going to be like an actual line with a carving on both sides. So this I'm not sure of. So then I can incorporate this curve in it then. Drawing Viking serpents is pretty much along the same lines, as in it's all about the curves and how they look like in the general context of things. This just happens to be a little bit more natural. Actually, in fact, I think I will go over here. Let's so this is the carving without the second line, and this is what it just adds a little wiggle there. I really am not happy. Okay, maybe I can branch it off. Have the feature of the second line being a branching off, right? Like small leaves on the ends and all around. So there's that. This large circle is, I'm not sold on it. Okay, what if we twist them? Let's twist them around. Okay, so what I'm going to try to do here is going to try and twist the direction. So this goes over here and this goes over here, and I think that might give it a little bit of a nicer look. What do you think, Chief? Alright. I think I can make that work. Maybe the bottom is a little bit too straight, and two straight lines, no curves at it, but we would leave like the intricate parts on top.
You want to just leave this?
I'm not understanding what.
It needs more leaves.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the leaves will come in later, of course. But I'm just trying to see like the general design. I think I like it this way. Can leave like the most sort of.
Are you saying the cat and not really?
No, the cat is up here. I think it's going to remain up there. either there or in this circle over here, but I'll have to see. And the circle will be nice, I think, but I'll consult and then I'll get back to actually doing it. I think I'm done with this. I think I'm good. Okay, so from here on, we're going to, first of all, we're going to merge down the layers. So we're going to consider them as one. And I'm going to open a new layer. So this I'm going to call, I never managed to actually combine. Sketch. Okay. Good. This one is we're going to use a different brush. Now for this we're going to be using the syrup one, inking one. I'm just going to hop straight to the black one, not even going to go for the blue one. And on this new layer I'm going to sort of re-sketch this with like minor details. From here, after that step, I'm going to take this, expand it over to this area, and draw out the proper details on it. So brush stroke is slightly larger than I would like, perhaps. Perfect, that looks good. So to start off with, I'm not going to draw the cat. I'm just going to draw a box, and this is where the cat goes. Shape, just put a rectangle. Done. Just write cat. Okay, head facing that way so I don't forget. Good. So starting off, I think I will start with the leaf. Now there's no particular leaf design that I'm using, it's just the simplest shape I can think of. And the stem goes through the middle, so that could be done a little bit more carefully. Okay, and from here on out is just trying to follow the lines in a way that makes sense, and also sort of, because this is like a dry run of the carving itself, so it needs to be in a way that sort of flows, otherwise it's going to be really jittery when you get to carve it. Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, and from here we're going to go. Perhaps this part was not really done properly. Let's fix it. Okay. Okay, now let's do the other side. So we start off with, let me zoom in a little bit better. Oh my, that's pixelated. Oops, okay. And another leaf here. Another leaf a bit longer here. Okay. Okay, yeah, from here we're going to continue. It's okay if we don't actually follow the blue line perfectly, but I would like to sort of be in the general area of it. That is too sharp a turn. I think this is just throwing me off this piece, so let's... yeah, something of the sort. I can remove the sketch from underneath. This is what the cover will sort of look like. Now I will need to add leaves and sort of shoots off, and a shoot off in different directions. It's not bad like this. I like it, even on the way it looks on screen. It looks like a cool design. I think I can really make this work. Okay, so we'll start from the top. Now I'm going to try and have the leaves sort of point towards the same direction of the vine. So obviously the top vine on top here has the leaves pointing up. Okay, so I will try to mimic that as much as I can, but it doesn't need to be precise all the time. This is not an accurate portrait of what nature looks like. Nature doesn't look like this. So trick is to find the right place for them. So for example, over here, maybe over here, yeah, let's see if it's there. No. Over here, so up, down. Over here, for example, would be a nice one to have. And another one here. They don't need to be on the same side of the vine. They can alternate between one side and the other. For example, over here I can put another one. The important thing is to make it look like it flows, like it belongs there. Because if it, obviously otherwise it would look a little bit jarring. I can put another one over here. And mostly I'm trying to sort of fill in the gaps, the voids that I have in my own design. Okay. Kind of like this feature over here where it's like 3 lines parallel to each other. I don't think I will put any leaves there, but on the top and the bottom I will. So okay. All right. And I think in here it will look. No, I don't like it there. So away it goes over here. And even here, perhaps I think it could. I may have to skip some of these while I'm actually carving, because on paper it looks a little bit easier to do than while carving. So if I see that, obviously I make mistakes while carving as well, so some inaccuracies will have to be accounted for. And one of those inaccuracies could be that I carve something a little bit too close together. In that case, I will have to adjust there and then maybe remove or add a leaf or two here and there. But as much as possible, I will try not to remove or detract a lot from the design that I am coming up with right now. So otherwise, it defeats the whole point of the exercise. So yeah, we will also finish on a nice leaf, but I think we can go for another one over here. No. Ah, yeah, okay. So I flipped the orientation of the leaves about halfway through, which is fine. It doesn't really matter as much. Like on one side it's one thing, on the other side it's another. Okay. Now we'll go over to the second set of vines, which doesn't really need a lot. I might even not put any on them. No, let's put something on them. So over here, and perhaps we'll need a smaller leaf over here, and we'll adjust. Okay. It was very elven. Kind of like it this way. It's missing one over here. I know, is it too close to the 3 slashes? Let's put it here. Though this is tentative, I might not do it later on. I think maybe one over here to sort of contrast to this one. Come on.
That's a very pretty design.
Oh, thank you very much, Mel. Thank you very much. I think I'm happy with that. What do you think, Chief? You approve?
I do.
I think on this one I will actually do what I meant to do on the bracer, which is have the leaves and the rest of the quiver of a different color. It's all going to be brown, dark brown in background, but I think I might have the leaves of a lighter brown color, like the tan, the cognac brown that I've been using recently, the light brown. I've already gone through 2 batches that I mixed, so that's good news. Okay, feeling a little bit warm. So, okay, let's take this design. Maybe I don't even think we need to blow it up a little bit, but let's do so anyway. So I'm just going to duplicate layer. Okay, I'm just going to take the move tool, move it around, and just whoops, reset. Need to uniform. I'm just going to move it here. Okay, just to have an idea of what I will have to work with, I need to take this and duplicate again, but this time move it somewhere along here. Oh, this is not. I mean, no, should be pretty accurate to what I need to do. It's going to be something like that, I think. Something along those lines. I like it. Good. Okay. So this is part 1 done. It took us what, 37 minutes, 40 minutes to make. I mean, and I even ended up chatting quite a bit. Now this was a very simple design, of course. I already had the main idea on hand. So next we're going to be doing a sketch of a serpent, which is a Viking design, and I'll explain exactly how I got around to doing these and where I got my inspirations from. So, but in the meantime, I can actually show you some of my other designs, which are available on Patreon, but we'll get to it in a second. So, okay, yeah, I'm happy with this. I'm very happy with this. So let's just for a second until I change, because I've got some stuff that I cannot show you. However, these I can show you. So over here I have my album of sort of Viking themed designs and sketches that I've made. I've had some of these, for example, this one over here, this was for a friend of mine. It was a commission one. I think it was the second quiver I made. This design there is a time lapse of on my YouTube channel, so you can see how I made it. And Procreate in itself is a really good tool in the sense that you can go over here and do a time lapse replay, and it will actually show you how it was done. And I use this function as well on in the video. You can see how I got around to making these. Making symmetrical designs like these, or at least like pattern like designs like this, is very easy, because what you have to do is either divide the canvas in quarters, draw one, and it will mirror everything else. In fact, or just copy and paste and rotate by 90 degrees, which is what I did here for the most part. Then adjust a little bit here and there as needed. So I got the main inspiration for these serpents, Viking-like serpents, from Dark Horse Workshop, which is a leatherworking YouTuber. He's a really good leather carver, and I got the main idea to use Procreate really from him. So like this general serpent design is inspired by his work. I did come up with some of my sort of original designs. Of course, these are all my original designs. For example, this wolf, which I used on a quiver recently. So the video's coming up soon. This will be interesting, I think, to watch. There's another serpent over here, sort of on an infinite kind of thingy. Two serpents actually. I did the single serpent version as well over here, which is on a similar line. Oops. What else is there? This is the first time lapse I did on YouTube. It's very crude now that I'm looking at it, but I mean, this can go on a carving and be pretty decent. I can show you even my. This is my archery bracer design. This is on my archery bracer, which I need to redo. In fact, I might actually just do another design to put on a new bracer, because I'm due a new bracer, because the way it fits is a little bit awkward. So the way we would start doing something like this is by starting a new thingy. I usually go for A4, because A4 is the size that I would, print my stuff on. And I would go use a sketching pencil using the turquoise or cyan or light blue, whatever you want to call it. Now let's increase it a little bit in thickness so we can see a little bit better. I again, just like the vines, I try to see what makes sort of natural sense, but I try to think also in what constraints I have to work in. Is it a case where I have a squarish workspace, or is it the case where it is longer than it is higher? Okay, so in which case I have the height is defining how large my carving is. In this case, I'm not going to worry about any of that. I'm just going to try and go for a bit of a free for all kind of thing over here on this A4 paper. My constraints are this A4 paper. I want to stay a little bit clear of the borders, right, so that I won't have problems with margins when I print it. And this can easily go on a quiver, perhaps, but we'll have to see. So there are different kinds of serpents you can do, and I think in my experience the worst part of I didn't know I had steam on. Didn't know I had steam on, it's just popping up. So yeah, I think the worst part of drawing a sea serpent or like any kind of serpent in leather carving is the head. At least in my experience, the head is the worst part. So I usually just put a shapeless blob, and then I work from there, and I get to the details later on. Now I think I would like to have shall I do two serpents or one? Let's start with one for now. So let's start, I don't know, I feel like the tail should be somewhere here, so like usually these squiggles help me then refine the design better. Actually, I quite like the idea of having the head over here, tail over here. Perhaps this seems a little bit extra, so maybe remove it from here, From here it goes to here. Now I feel like it should have. Okay, so this is going to obviously be joined over here. Perhaps have a loop in here. Yeah, let's have a loop in here. And it loops over here. Something of the sort, perhaps. Oh, come on. I need that. We can get rid of some extra lines. You don't need to be very careful for now. This is just a very, very rough sketch to see where my lines are going to go in the next step, okay? I think I like this. I feel like there's a little bit of an empty space over here, so perhaps I can modify this to come over here instead. Get rid of these lines and then pass over there. And I feel like this should arch a little bit more, like more. I think if it is arching, it looks a little bit more imposing. I get most of my inspiration, like the ideas of what a sea serpent looks like, or what a serpent in a Viking design looks like, from the game and the movies Beowulf. For those of you who remember. For those of you who don't know, Beowulf is the oldest epic written in English. I think there was a movie adaptation. I don't know who the main actor was. I know there was Angelina Jolie in it. I remember. For some reason she was all in gold or something. Whatever. The game was pretty cool. What?
Don't forget Angelina Jolie.
She's pretty unforgettable though. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so from here I can take the next step and change. I like to change into the darker blue, and over here I'm going to start sketching my design, my serpent. So as I said, I feel like perhaps the head should be, come on, perhaps the head should be a little bit more imposing, like this. Okay. No. Now from here I can decide the thickness of the body of the serpent, of the neck, right? And I'll try. I can't do this automatically. I'm pretty sure there are ways I can make my brush have 2 dots, blah blah blah, but I don't know how just yet. So the trick is to sort of try and keep a consistent width to the design. And again, I'm trying to be careful, but not too much. Just I mean, I don't need to worry so much about it. Just need to make sure I keep the width roughly the same. For example, here I know that this is narrower, I can see it, so I'll go back and fix it a little bit. Perhaps this part goes a little bit too far out. Yeah, that looks much better. Oh, perfect. No, wait. Okay. Okay. So let's attempt the face just once. So usually the face would have some sort of like ridge over the eyes, so that I know it has to be somewhere over here. And then it goes down to the nose and the snout, really. Now the snout, you can do it in multiple ways. I like sort of to have like a curl over there. It's a bit of a snubby snout. Snubby snout. And then you have the mouth over there. The trick, was that my phone? No. The trick is this, what to do over here. Now, in one of the, when I did the twin serpents, I had like a Dragon Ball, like Chinese dragon horn kind of thing. Usually I go for curves, and I think in this case I'm going to go for curves. Same as the snout. Now it could be that we do it this way, we could do it the other way. The other way looks a little bit weird, so let's do it this way. Okay, it's not so bad actually. It needs to be a little bit perhaps straighter down, so coming a little bit further down like this, and then a nice curl there, and then we can actually a bit further up. We can close it off like so. Not so actually, that wasn't so bad. So let us just take the whole thing and move it a little bit further down so that it makes sense on the neck, somewhere like this. Perfect. Good. You could also give it a little bit of a detail over here to sort of close it off. Of course, we won't have the extra things over there or over there. And obviously you need to have the eyes, and the eyes are very simple to do. It's just a teardrop shape, so you can, I usually try to have like a flat at the bottom, and then or something like this. I think the most important thing is to have them sort of like frowning a little bit. I can't nail it this time though, so maybe it needs to be a little bit lower. Something of the sort. Now, this will also allow us to draw the tongue later on, but let's finish with the serpent sketch. Okay, now I'm being way too rough now. It's easy to get into a bit of a trap where you get a lot of flat spots, so try to avoid that. I'd rather have curves which rebound rather than flat spots. So over here, for example, see, makes a little bit more sense, at least in my mind. Okay. Okay. I feel like the head should be a little bit bigger though. Perhaps we can enlarge it. Whoops. Yeah. That's it. Excuse me. So. Yeah, that's it. So we start. Maybe it's a little bit too large now. Feels perhaps it needs to be a little bit. Oh, come on. Needs to be perhaps a little bit longer. Let us freeform. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, let's proceed. Now come to the twist. So far it's pretty easy going. We'll encounter a little bit of difficulty when we start intertwining the design. Like over here. Now we start doing the over and unders. Now I need to start making decisions here on which parts go over which, so that the design looks neat and makes sense. For example, the bottom over here, it's, ooh, that's really ugly. Okay, okay. Now this came a little bit too fatty. Okay, now this needs to be adjusted, definitely. Okay. It was uneven with in proportion to the rest of the proportion with the rest of the design. Being very rough over here, but if it works, and I feel like it still is. Okay, so now we need it to be narrower. That sort of compares to it. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Now this is the interesting part. This is where we start seeing what goes under and over what. Now I think I want to have above. So this part is going above. So we'll have to erase these lines over here. Just cleaning up a bit. And here is where we'll do the loop. So it needs to be organic and make sense as well. So now there's too much to go off this shoot. Okay. What can't you find? Hmm? A group? Oh, because you're in combat. Yes, you are. Okay. Perhaps fix this bit over here. Yeah, that looks better. I think it needs to be a little bit further this way. And this needs to come over here. It's a mistake that I often do this part when I try to sort of do the over and unders. Sort of the piece going in and the piece going out don't usually match in thickness. So that's I know that's a mistake I'm looking out for. So obviously this has to come off like this. Okay. Okay. Now let's carry on. We need to go somewhere up above here. I'm assuming we're going above over here and then back under. So trying to find like the best way to draw this. As you can see, I'm deviating from the light blue because the carving just doesn't make sense if I were to just follow it as is. So I'll have to take my own liberties, like over here, for example, see? Has to come out above. And the same over here. And it will still probably go into the same entry point. Perhaps in a wider arc than predicted. There you go. Okay. And now we're going to start working towards the tail. We're going to go under and over. Yeah, that's fine. I usually like to end the tail with an under, but it's fine in this case. Give it a little bit of a wave. It will end somewhere there. See, over here I'm choking it up too much, so let's fix this part. It's okay to just come over your sketch and then fix it afterwards. That's the whole point of this. See, I went too far right on this one. There we go. This is going to go over, as we said, so remove those lines. And now obviously it's going to start tapering towards the end. And I feel like there's a bit of something is not right. Perhaps over here needs to be a little bit. Maybe we won't have the tail pointing down. Maybe we'll just have the tail. Okay, wait, I'm messing this up. So let's end with the tail over here. And the tail will end to a point, but we will embellish it. Okay, so we will embellish it very easily with we can put a curl over here, and we can do another curl over here. Actually, we can just put a large curl over here and have it closer to the thingy. Alright, this is a little bit too big, too bulbous. Oops. Let's fix it. That's not bad for a rough sketch. Now if we remove the... Right, there we go. It's not bad. That's not so bad. I think that's decent. Now, just to make sure that all the over and unders make sense, we've got the head going under, over, under, over, under, over, and two overs, okay, 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 okay. So, in this case, I would take another layer. This time I'm going to use an inking brush, which is the syrup, and start using the black one, as we did earlier. And I'll start, I think that is slightly smaller than I'd like it to be. So 9 variation. Perfect. Okay. So, and we'll start doing the lines on top. Try to be as careful as possible now, because this is the design that I'm actually going to be putting on a carving eventually. Okay, so perhaps have a little bit of a more defined ridge there. Okay. Now comes a little bit of a tricky part, which is going to be drawing the two lines in a way that actually makes sense. And trust me, no way will make sense. Because I still can't nail it properly to this day. Okay, so those are fine. That we can add a little bit of like a couple of scratches there, give it a little bit of texture, but here it's going to be an issue. So I'm going to try and do flowing lines as much as possible, but I cannot get them properly. There we go. Thing is, if you slow down, you start sort of wavering. But you can't not slow down because you need to do them nicely. Okay, so let's try. See over here now, we'll have issues. Okay. No. Okay. What else? Let's continue. Oops. Nope. Okay. Sorry if I'm being a little bit silent. I'm trying to sort of concentrate on getting the design right, but okay. Cool. So let's do that. Let's do that. Perhaps fix it a little bit over here. And then fix this part a little bit. We'll have the opportunity to fix some of these lines, but over here it looks a little bit too bulbous. So let me just go ahead and fix that. We'll put a thick outline at the end. We might not do it on the live stream, but usually I put a thick outline around it. It makes the piece pop, and it also helps hide some of the imperfections with a thicker brush. So that's good. No. Let's, fix over here, of course, but I'm not going to redo the whole line. So. Okay, the last couple of lines. I'll go back with an eraser in a second. Okay, now. Okay, not bad. This is what the design looks like. I've got a let's start marking where I need to fix. So this looks a little bit too thick. Maybe that will be a little bit better. The tail I'm not happy with, huh? The tail I really am not happy with. So it should be something like this. But then it's tapering too much of a straight line, so let me just should come to it like this over here. It's not the best one I've done, but I think it works just fine. I think it works just fine. Okay. Whew. Let's texture the body a little bit so we can put cross hatches. Design and cross. I usually like to do that on a separate layer just in case I need to change it. But cross hatches would be putting triangles on them and then sort of having this design, sort of like crisscrossing design, which is not bad at all. It looks nicer when it has a little bit of a border, however. I think that I made this a little bit too thin to have a border. You could also do a line going down the middle. Kind of looks nice, but I think I will stick with something I've done in the past, which is doing like waves of curls and then going back down. And they will alternate. So on this side, for example, see, they will alternate one and one. I think that's what I would do for this design. Perhaps not so close together though. So put one over here. One over here. Just to give it a little bit of texture, not to have it so bland. You can leave it empty, as in the serpent doesn't need more decoration or detail. It just gives him a little bit of character, you know? You can choose to have it on one side or on both sides, and it will be on this side. Okay. And then on the other side, obviously, to mirror the design. And also, it's okay if they go underneath some of the tails themselves. So here would be nice. I try to do obviously one on either side, so they sort of alternate in a pattern. And finally, I think that would be it. It gives the serpent a little bit of texture. Now, of course, I still have to draw the tongue, but I for the purpose of this exercise, I will skip it. Tongue would usually be a much thinner piece, obviously. Thinner, let's do it in red so it's more visible. Thinner piece of obviously design, carving, whatever you want to call it, which weaves in between the design. It's usually easier to carve and doesn't have a lot of texture to it. In fact, usually just the two carved lines and that's it. So for example, over here it would go somewhere around here. Like I would try to make sure to include it in the weaves. Okay, so for example over here, then it will go on top and over, or perhaps under. But I would usually have it on a separate layer. So it would go from here to here, over and under, over and under, over, under, wrap it over, under. So we keep this pattern. I usually like to put the tongue where the tail ends. So for example, something like this. See, up here, over, under, to the end somewhere here. Would have, for example, a fork and the tongue. Or would also have something like, I don't know, like another curl if you want. See? Something of the sort. But that's something that I won't be doing for this design, at least not just yet. And yeah, I mean, that is basically the basics of how to go about making your own like Viking serpent design. Again, you can go for the texture. This is a very simple texture where I go, oops, cancel, let's delete layer. This texture that I've made is a simple rise, curl, and then it goes back down with the bottom of the serpent going there. Okay. You can also have like a crosshatch design, as I noted earlier. You can have like the two lines, and then you will have you have zigzags. And then the bottom ones, right? The bottom ones will always have the same pattern, and the top ones will always have the opposite pattern. So for example, the bottom ones are going in this direction, the top ones will be going in a different direction. This looks like a weave or a crosshatch, okay? This will look really nice on a serpent, and I've used it before. It looks nice anywhere, really, even on a piece of carving without a motif, without an actual animal carving on it. So yeah, there, you know, really these kinds of things are always down to your own imagination. So, all right. So I don't know if there are any comments in the chat. I think we're caught up, you know, with everything and everyone. What do you think of this? Yeah, good. Cool. Okay, so I think we can start wrapping things up. So I will make this design available for free on my Patreon page, so you can go visit there. It's patreon.com/Corso workshop. Also on the Patreon, we've got new rewards, which include obviously different tiers and early access to videos for certain tiers, as well as access to these designs. And the more complex ones will be reserved to the higher tiers. However, most of the basic designs will be available to everyone being a member on Patreon. This particular design will be free for everyone, so you'll also find it on my website, corsoworkshop.com. Furthermore, all my patrons, I will have new stickers available. We have new Corso Workshop stickers. Let me just actually swap the camera, so it's a bit of a bigger camera now. Corso Workshop stickers, I've got black ones, white ones as well. And I'm also including a handwritten thank you note to all my patrons. So yeah, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. It really helps, you know, to make these things come to life, these projects. Speaking of projects, as I said earlier in the beginning of the video, there is a slight delay in my upload schedule. There's going to be another project upload next Saturday, hopefully, but I just need to take a little bit more footage of it to make sure I do the best job possible. I have 2 videos actually lined up, which I am currently editing. So there's that. What else? I think that was it. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me for this live stream today. I'm sorry it's usually, you know, on a day like yesterday on a Sunday, but you know, internet issues, we'd have it today anyway. So yeah, hope you enjoyed seeing me make these, and the quiver thing, it was really interesting to do. I look forward to making it come to life, and when I do, I will post on my Instagram page and on Facebook, so make sure to follow me there, and you know, you can keep up with me there, you know, for projects and ideas and, you know, frequent uploads. So yeah, I think we'll have to add Chief. We good? We good? Good. So thank you very much for joining me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope that you enjoyed it too. So yeah, take care, make anything. It's really interesting. And if you do make something of the sort, make sure to share it and tag me in it, and I'll be sure to comment on them as well. So yeah, thank you very much and have a good evening.